This video is sponsored by Motion Array. If you're not familiar with Motion Array, they are all about empowering you, the video creator, with templates, footage, tutorials, plugins, audio, and more. They have tons of free assets like Premiere Pro templates ready to download right now. I've put a link in the description below, so make sure to stop on over at Motion Array and grab some free stuff. Originally, cameras used film, a flexible strip of plastic or other material. It had coatings which were sensitive to captured light. In other words, the incoming picture. You would have to choose how much light you wanted. For example, you would use a 3200 ISO film and use that. There was no dialing in these numbers on the fly. You had to know what film stock you needed, and you would purchase and use that. If you wanted to change the ISO for, say, shooting in a brighter or darker scene, you would have to change the film stock. Digital tech entered the world, and photos and video are now captured on media like SD cards. The speed of the film numbers, the ISO, was adopted, and the amount of light sensitivity was built into the camera. On camcorders, they will refer to this as gain and use a different number system, but the concept is the same. You're talking about how much light is allowed to hit the camera's sensor instead of film, and you can change that right in the camera with a few clicks. Using lower settings, when you have a lot of light, gives a sharper and less noisy image. Using higher settings, when you don't have a lot of light, gives a less sharp and more noisy image. Here's various tests of ISO settings on my camera, and as I up the ISO, watch the black areas. They will get more and more grainy, and that's what we're talking about when we talk about noise, properly referred to as digital noise. Yes, the quality and sometimes size of the sensor in the camera makes a difference, so when you see what seems like a great deal, such as a camcorder or camera that shoots 4K video for under $100, you can bet where they skimped the sensor, which means you get a really crappy image. That's also why some camcorders and cameras are really pricey. They have larger sensors. Seems obvious you would want to choose the lowest ISO that still gives you a good image. You can use all sorts of tools for this, which I'll cover in later videos, but the easiest way to make sure you have the proper setting is to watch this little indicator on your camera. If it's in the middle or a little bit to the right or left, you should be cool. If it's too far to the right, it's going to be blown out, overexposed, too much light, so drop the ISO down. Too far to the left, it's going to be too dark, underexposed, not enough light, so up the ISO setting. Now, noise in your video is not the devil. Sometimes you want that for a particular look, and other times you just don't care. If you're recording a family moment, a concert, some animal out in the forest, or something that is happening right now, you're not going to stop everything so you can properly light it all to get that sharp, clean image at a proper ISO. I'd rather capture a noisy, dark video of some cute kids playing with a tire in Africa than not at all because I was worried about the shot. If you're in a situation where you can set up the shot, such as an interview, scene, or like in this studio, then yes, dial in the ISO. And if it's more than, say, 1600 or 3200, just add more light so you can drop the ISO and get a better image. Typically, you want the lowest ISO you can get, but don't sweat it. 100, 200, 320, 640, even 800 is going to be fine. And if you still can't get a good image, it's possibly time at looking at getting a new good lens. You'll see talk about good ISO settings, 160, 320, 640, etc. as the best, and to avoid 125, 250, 500, and 1000 as these settings create noise and make your footage look grainy, or how you should be shooting using the native ISO or gain in the particular model of your camera, and you have no idea what that would be. That may all be true, but seriously, unless you're shooting a paid client video, commercial, etc., don't worry about it. Work on capturing the moments you want to capture instead of fiddling with a camera and not shooting anything at all. A super concentration on ISO, aperture, and all the rest is great, but your time would be better spent learning and practicing how to frame a shot, light a shot, and tell a good story that engages the person watching. A perfectly shot video does not make it a good video. A video that engages the viewer is a good video, no matter how it was shot. And the worst video ever made is the one that wasn't. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. I don't know if you can see those merch tabs below this video, but if you can't, I've put a link in the description. My latest is for the lazy, the constant tweakers, the one more edit to be perfect people, and the I only wish I had that new insert whatever in the blank person. It's t-shirts and mugs that say, just shoot the thing. Okay, I actually made the mug for me. I'm going to go order one now.